Before we jump right into this review, I just want to give a big shout out and just a big thank you to Teevolution for sending out their Genesis Series mousepads early for review, and also give them a shout out as well for sending out the Terra for review. As always, even though a company has sent me something to check out, none of my thoughts and opinions can be bought, and I'm always keep it 100% real and raw with y'all. So let's jump right into the review. So to kick things off, man, we have both of these mouse pads coming in at 450 by 400. They both are 5 millimeters in thickness, and then they both have the same 4-layer foam core inside of them, but they also do have the same silicone backing. Now this silicone backing is amazing. It's designed to be a high adhesive backing that doesn't move on your desk, and I can definitely say so far using it, that is facts. Now the Gravis is something that me personally, I didn't spend a lot of time using, just because this isn't really my type of surface. The Gravis is a mud pad. It is slow. That mud is slow. Like I'm talking about, if you are a mud pad enjoyer, then this is right up your alley. This thing is slow, 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 slow. I don't even know what to compare it to in terms of slowness, because I haven't used a slow pad in so long, but I do know that from using it, the precision I was getting in terms of crosshair placement was something I haven't really seen in a long time. I've been using a lot of speed pads, a lot of speed glass pads, so I'm used to having a little bit more of a shaky aim and really relying more on my natural movements with my hand to be accurate and precise. But with the Gravis, it was nice to come back to something that basically took away me having to think about my aim as much. I was able to do flicks and track and just overall play the game without really having to use too much thought and effort into what I was doing. Definitely, it keeps you stable, it keeps you locked in, and it's very fun to glide against. It has, like, for me, after a while, I know it's supposed to be like moisture resistance, but personally for me, after a while it did feel kind of like wet. So I don't know if it's because of like how I sweat a lot or what, but definitely did feel kind of like damp or like wet on the surface. The surface is very like I would say suede, like, to a certain degree. Like, definitely if you run your fingers across it, you probably can't see on the camera, but if you run your fingers across it, you can definitely see you make indents in the pad. So it's a very suede like type of feel to this mouse pad. But overall, in terms of just the static, the dynamic, and just the X and Y, uh, slow, muddy, high static, high dynamic. So if you in the market for something like that, then this is something to look at. Now, the only problem with the Gravis that I feel like they already are correcting is the fact that it comes in at 450 by 400. Now, if it came in off top at least 490 by 420, or if they off the initial release had a 500 by 500 for the Gravis release specifically, then I do feel like that it will appeal a lot more to people who want this kind of mouse pad. Because usually the people who want this kind of mouse pad play really slow FPS games. They play tech FPS shooters like Valorant, Counter Strike, and they have really low CM, but they play like 80, 50, 60 CM or something like that, or like low sensitivity. So it's a lot more arm movement that go into it, a lot more forearm, a lot more of the shoulder, and they're going into it. So with a sizing that is so small, like this for the Gravis, I definitely can see some people passing on it. But I do believe they have plans of releasing bigger sizes eventually for the Genesis series. So I definitely feel like they probably should have led with that initially, but we'll see how this play out for them in the future. Moving on to my personal favorite out of the two, we have the ASYM. Now, the ASYM is designed to be a very versatile, balanced mouse pad. It is targeted for people that want to have that same precision and just that same level of control that they would get with a slower mouse pad, but having a little bit more speed into it. Now, I will say initially out of the box, this thing was quick. Like, it was arguably on the same level as some speed pads that I own. And then after I spent more time using it and breaking it in, it slowed down quite a bit. But I feel like that's when I really got a chance to really experience and see how this mouse pad truly was designed to be. Now, the most fun I had using this mouse pad was using the Artisan palm dot skates, and also using the stock skates that come with the Terra Pro. These to me are pretty much just Artisan Airs. which basically means the Artisan Airs has little micro dots on top of them that's supposed to be designed for glass. But these work really well for this mouse pad as well. Like in terms of full size skates, this is a very quick, very fast experience, even after this pad is broken in. Same thing with the Artisan dots, very quick, very consistent experience. The dynamic raises a little bit using the Artisan dots, but the static becomes lower and it gives you more of a glass-like experience. So it's been very fun to use with these two particular skates. I would say so far, from the time that I spent using the axis, it definitely feels fluid. It feels very intuitive. I don't have to really think too much about any of my movements. I can be as precise as I want to be while also fragging out with a little bit more speed than a controlled or a mud pad would have. Now, this mouse pad, I feel like benefits more from that silicone base and that 4-layer foam core, just because to me personally, this pad feels a little bit more firm than the Gravis. The Gravis has a more plushier like feel to it. It feels like the way the surface is designed and how that foam plays with it, it feels a little bit more plushy and a little bit more soft. And I think it's designed that way intentionally so you can sink more into the pad and you know, have even more stability and more of that mud like feeling that some people like. But this one, to me personally, this one feels a little bit more stiffer. It feels a little bit more firm. It still overall is a soft mouse pad, so if you do have a heavy hand, let's say you're playing like palm, claw, or palm, you can sink into this mouse pad and get precision. So I would definitely say if you use a grip that has a lot more of your hand on the mouse, don't use dot skates with this mouse. With this mouse pad, definitely opt to use full size skates. But if you like me and you play a more of a hybrid claw grip where you don't have a lot of palm contact, you can get away with using dot skates on this mouse pad. Like, it feels amazing with it, especially if you're using something that's like ultra light. How the Fenrir ASYM is about 20 grams, and this thing gliding across here is like super fun. I can only imagine how it would feel if I use like J's or something like that. Like, definitely makes this pad feel like something completely different than what it actually is. Overall, these are two well-built, well-designed mouse pads, and they definitely do what they're intended to do. You have the Gravis that's targeted for, I feel like, TAC FPS players and slower FPS players in general. And then you have the Axis that's targeted for more of the people who want speed, but want control speed. Now, the one thing that I will say concern me about these mouse pads is the overall dimensions. Like I said earlier, they come in at 450 by 400. Now, in today's market, I really don't know who's buying a 450 by 400 mouse pad, but Teevolution has made it very clear that they will be expanding their sizing. So you will get maybe a 490 by 420, maybe a 500 by 500, you know, who knows. But they do have stuff cooking up for the Genesis lineup that hasn't been released yet, that I'm not even sure if I can talk about yet, but just know there will be more options coming soon for what you might need for your needs. Overall though, outside of the sizing, I would say the price is very competitive. The price is $39.80. Definitely for the quality of these mouse pads, they have a very premium quality feel. They are very well designed and just a well executed mouse pad. Most of the time these days, when I'm looking at cloth mouse pads or just looking at mouse pads in general, outside of glass pads, they are well executed, well designed, and they do a good job of just being pretty solid releases. Now these, I think for these to be Teevolution's first releases in terms of cloth mouse pads and just getting into this market, they're not too aggressive to where it applies to like only a niche part of the community, but they're also not too safe to where it's just, hey, here's some mouse pads, boom. I think they put enough focus and time into this, because I think it took them like 6 months overall to like design these mouse pads. So they put a lot of time and effort into making these surfaces, and I can 100% say that this is something that, depending on what you're in the market looking for, you should definitely keep your eye on. The price is competitive, and for the amount of money that you will be spending and the type of quality that you're getting overall, is definitely worth it in my opinion at this current moment. Now, some of the things that I am talking about are subject to change, so I don't know if these designs are final. I don't know if the unboxing experience is final. That's why I haven't showed it. I don't know. Depending on how Teevolution plays this out, this definitely could be a banger for them. They already saw a banger in the Terra Pro, which I will have a review for that dropping soon, but they already saw a banger with the Terra dropping a shape that everybody wanted, and now they dabbling into the mouse pad scene, and they have other stuff coming up soon that will be going with the Genesis lineup as well. So I don't know. I feel like Teevolution definitely is on the right path right now, and I'm definitely eager to see what else they putting out. But if this is something that you definitely think you want to check out, you want to try, these will be releasing on Friday, October the 17th. I will leave a link in the description for you guys to go ahead and go over there. So whenever they drop, you can go ahead and cop your own ASYM or Gravis Mousepad, depending on what you like. But other than that, man, it's been your boy Widja. Let me know what you think in the comments. Been talking hellas. See y'all later. Peace.